Hello, my name is Troy. Make sure, okay, we're good. My name is Troy Owens. Today, I'm going to be presenting my theory in sociological theory, taught by Dr. Suzanne Stolting. My theory today. Well, first off, forgive me with my bedhead and my, um, I'm not 100% presentable. It's been a long weekend with my trip and everything else, as you are aware. It's just been just grinding, getting through stuff that I missed and everything else, and just trying to crunch 2 weeks in the last 2 weeks of the semester into 1 week. So it's been quite a busy week and weekend, but we're back. We're getting through everything. We're grinding everything. Today we're going to be presenting my theory on gambling. A little bit of, and I'm recording this the way it is because I don't have it in like slideshow mode because my recording system OBS Studio was screwing up. It wouldn't show my face on there if I did it like the presentation way. So we're going to do it this way. So I'll change slides. So a little wonderment, little background, as you'll see in the paper. I am on the men's bowling team here at Lindenwood University. Every year we have nationals. My freshman year was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Last year was in Chicago. This year was in Las Vegas, Nevada. By far the funnest week of nationals I've spent. Las Vegas, as a 21-year-old is, you get to do everything and everything else and have fun. The biggest thing that it's one reason why I wanted to do my paper on this and do my theory on this because I saw a lot of this when I was in Las Vegas. People betting, people playing these games, whether it be table games, slot machines, etc. And I do have a little bit of connection to this. I'll get to that here in a second. But just watching people's behavior within the resort we were staying at, which is South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa, which is the southern part of Las Vegas, south of the Strip and everything else. So that's a little bit of background on this paper, and this is my first paragraph within the paper. I go into a little more detail during that. My dependent variable would be gambling rates, and that's how I kind of got into this. I know people gamble for fun and stuff like that, but I'm getting into this. My parents' situation will make more sense here in a second. I've also seen people's behavior, and it's not necessarily a look like if they lose. Wasn't necessarily a look of like, oh, okay, cool, no big deal. It was I saw a lot of people with sad faces, irritated faces, stuff like that. So it really began excuse me, to me go into this part of why people gamble, which is I believe a huge chunk of gambling, and why people do it as much, do it to the rates that they do, and going through all those situations and stuff like that. My parents, this is kind of a funny story. When my parents wanted to buy their first house, there was some confusion with the down payment at closing. They had, I think it was 5,000 or something like that. The down payment was actually 10,000. They didn't know that. There was some miscommunication, and they almost were not able to buy the house. Now, my father took that money and went to Atlantic City and won 20 some $1,000 playing craps. So his situation worked out well, but that's the type of situation where I'm investigating and develop my theory on, because knowing that and seeing the people's reaction on the casino floor and their betting and they're playing the game and stuff like that, and like their reaction to losing and stuff like that. There's a lot of people I feel that are doing it for a job, doing it to hit that big win and get themselves out of this financial hardship, which I'll get to here in a second. My clue variable is people who live in low income areas. Now, people who live in lower income areas, and that could be, in cities and, suburbs. People are just, not in the best areas and, are keen and more susceptible to financial hardships and want to live a life better. They're not living the most ideal life for reasons X, Y, and Z. So that would be my clue variable, which leads us into empirical generalization 1, gambling in frequent low-income areas. Again, this gives us a hypothesis and a connection, but it doesn't really explain our theory and goes through, which is why it's the empirical generalization. And that is one of many clue variables you can talk to about in the gambling theory, but this is the one I'm going to stick with. It's the one that I really thought that was necessary and what I saw in my recent trip to Las Vegas. Independent variable would be financial hardships. This would be no matter what the hardship is, whether it is a problem with spending money or just not living the best life, could live better, whatever the situation may be, this leads us into, the effect. This is the cause of the effect of gambling rates. And financially stable people, excuse me, I like to talk fast, pardon me. Um, we need to study these rates in these neighborhoods and everything else and get an idea, leads us to empirical generalization too. And this will give us an idea, another connection on the rates, but again, doesn't state our theory properly, which is why it's another generalization. Like I said, whatever the hardship may be, whether they just, don't live the best life, want to hit that big win, putting, the little money they have extra in, into a slot machine, or, playing these or betting this monies to get themselves out of this, or give them some cushion, whatever the case may be. That leads us into our independent variable of financial hardships. So our theory, stated properly, would be as financial hardships increase among people and individuals, this causes an increase in gambling rates. Now, going into testing this theory, which we'll get to on the next slide, this is the base of our theory. This is one of many theories that you can use to explain gambling. This is a huge one that I've seen personally, that I saw in my Las Vegas trip, what I've seen in my parents' situation. I know someone back home who does this. I see it firsthand all the time. And now that I've seen people in my trip to Las Vegas, which is Sin City, the gambling capital of the world, it really shows why people bet, and seeing their discomfort with losing. Typically when you're growing up, you hear, only bet what you can afford to lose. Only bet, and if you go in with $200, and if you lose it all, then you're gonna be, gonna feel the exact same way as when you walked into the, casino or sports betting place or wherever. That's what you're taught, but that's not necessarily why a lot of people gamble. Again, you have to look at these rates amongst people who are living comfortably, who are financially stable and stuff like that. People who live, in financial hardship and could live a better life are more likely to gamble. And this shows an increase in gambling rates to hit that big number, to hit that big win, and to hopefully bring themselves out of this hardship, whatever that hardship may be. There's numerous ways to test the theory. The way I looked at it, and the best way that I see that we can test my theory is the theory's ability to provide mechanisms. To do this, we need to test this theory in different circumstances to see if the truth still holds. Evaluate other areas of financial hardship. Not just St. Louis, or not just Kansas City. You got to look at other areas of financial hardship, whether it be a suburb, urban area, or rural area. And look where the placement of casinos are. And that'll lead us into the testing number 2. Another way to do this is changing our clue variable. Test this by seeing the same elevation in gambling rates and not like other countries or other financial hardships occur. See where the casinos are located at in those areas, if they're legal in those countries. I don't know the legality of casinos in Europe or England or anything like that, but that's how we can, really test our theory and see if this theory holds true in other areas. If it does, then we can expect to have a really good base for our theory. And moving forward, we can test this by going through and studying other places of the world, other places of the United States, where these gambling rates are, where these elevated gambling rates are, and then we can compare that to financial hardships and vice versa. Again, if this holds true, then it proves our theory. It helps evaluate our theory. It helps, give data to support our theory. By doing this, of course, we need to study in other areas, in other places to where gambling rates are high, and then go through in their financial situations. So from there, that is my theory on gambling. I hope you enjoyed. Suzanne, thank you again for the time and help. I really appreciate it. But it's been a really fun class. I really enjoyed this class. It's been a very interesting class for myself. I've never really taken a class like this, based off theories and stuff like that. But it's been really fun. This is my theory on gambling. It's really cool to connect a school trip and, being able to see things firsthand and really evaluate yourself, firsthand, especially right where the deadlines were. It was really, really, I feel like I was really fortunate to be able to experience that and see that. So thank you again for watching. Any questions, reach out to me, email, or comment on this, whatever. I can be happy to clarify anything up. So thank you very much.